So we have 3 more books left to read from what I last showed. So we got these 3 soft covers. Let's start with Minnie and Moo Go to the Moon. Minnie and Moo Go to the Moon. By Dennis Gazette. Yep. It's pretty. Alright, I'm gonna jump right in. Pretty pictures. Moo thinks. The farmer stopped the tractor. He dusted himself off and walked to the farmhouse. He stopped at the screen door and took off his boots. He hung up his hat on an old nail and went into the house. Moo looked at Minnie. She pointed at the tractor. She pointed at the hay baler. We could do that, she said. Minnie took the straw out of her mouth. Do what? She asked. Drive that tractor, said Moo. Oh, Moo Moo, said Minnie. You have been thinking again. It was only a small think, said Moo. Minnie put her arm around Moo. Moo, she said, we are cows. Cows give milk. It is what we do. The farmer cannot give milk. That is why farmers drive tractors and cows do not. They kind of look like hippos. No, said Moo. I have been thinking, what does the farmer have that we do not? Hands and feet, said Minnie. No, said Moo. Boots and a hat. Chapter 2. Moo explains. Boots and a hat, said Minnie. Yes, said Moo. Boots and a hat. When the farmer is outside, he puts on his boots and his hat. Then he drives the tractor. When he goes inside, he takes off his boots and hangs his hat on a nail. He does not drive the tractor. He cannot drive the tractor without his hat or his boots, said Moo. But Moo, said Minnie. Think, said Moo, tapping her head. Use your brain. Have you ever seen the farmer drive the tractor in his house? No, said Minnie. But, see, said Moo, he cannot drive the tractor without boots and a hat. Moo, said Minnie, we do not have boots. We do not have a hat. We cannot drive a tractor. Obviously. Boots plus hat equals tractor. It's math. Simple. Moo looked at the farmer's porch. She looked at the boots. She looked at the hat hanging on a nail. She looked at Minnie and smiled. I get to wear the hat, said Minnie. I'm just gonna take that. The magic words. Moo put on the farmer's boots. She climbed onto the tractor. Ready? She shouted. Minnie put on the farmer's hat. Ready? She yelled. Moo moved a lever. She stepped on the gas. The tractor didn't move. Moo pulled a handle. She stepped on a pedal. The tractor was quiet. Try the magic words, said Moo, the ones the farmer shouts when the tractor won't start. Okay, said Minnie. Oh no. Pretty sure this is G-rated. You cheesy piece of junk. You broken down, no good, rusty bucket of bolts. Moo turned the key. The tractor grumbled. Try it again, shouted Moo. This time, kick the tires after you say the magic words. Moo turned the key again. Cheesy piece of junk. Minnie shouted, you cheesy piece of junk. You've broken down, no good, rusty bucket of bolts. She kicked the tires. Roar went the tractor. Whoosh went the hay bale. Guess those are the magic words. Chapter 4. Flight. Minnie jumped back on the tractor. Look at that, she shouted. Hay bales rolled out behind them. I'm so proud, said Moo. I could sing. The hills are alive with the sound of music. Get them on the tractor, Minnie and Moo. Suddenly the tractor crashed into the pigsty. Mud flew up. Pigs grunted. Duck, Minnie shouted. A pig whizzed by. That was no duck, shouted Moo. Slow down, yelled Minnie. I can't, yelled Moo. We're going faster. Clouds of dust filled the sky. Chaos everywhere. The tractor crashed into the chicken coop. Eggs rained down. Chickens flew into the hay baler. The tractor went faster and faster. It roared through the hay fields, roared over the hills. It roared into the air. It's flying through the air. We're flying, shouted Moo. We're in outer space, shouted Minnie. Chapter 5. On the moon. Crash went the tractor, bash went the hay baler. They spun around and around. Dust and rocks flew everywhere. Then they stopped. It was quiet. Where are we? Asked Minnie. Waved the dust away. She looked at all the rocks. She looked at the big hole they were sitting in. I knew it, said Minnie. We're on the moon. The moon, said Moo. They think they're on the moon, but they're just in a bunch of mud. Moo stepped off the tractor. This does not look like the moon. The moon is made of cheese, of course, she said. Minnie walked over to Moo. Moo, she said, look around you. What do you see? I see a big hole. I see the farmer's tractor. I see the hay baler. They're sitting at the bottom of a big hole, said Moo. Crater, said Minnie. On the moon, a hole is a crater. Look, said Moo. Snow. Feathers drifted down from the sky. The moon is very cold, said Minnie. It does not feel cold, said Moo. The moon is a very strange place. It is, said Minnie. Look over there. There are some moonsters. Some roosters. Oh well. Chapter 6. Attack of the Monsters. 6 chickens stared at Minnie and Moo. Their feathers were gone. They were bad. They look like chickens, said Moo. Don't be silly, said Minnie. There are no chickens on the moon. Moo, don't you understand? Didn't you know? There's no air on the moon. Chickens need air to breathe. Use your brain, she said, tapping her head. She's like, I have glasses. Do I sound like okay. Feathers. These are moonsters, not chickens. Chickens have feathers, Minnie said. Minnie, said Moo, I have been thinking. If there is no air, how can we? The feathers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 feathers. She's like, wait, how can we breathe? Or she? Minnie and that's me. Suddenly, the chickens pecked at Minnie and Moo. Ouch, cried Minnie. Minnie jumped up and down. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Run, Minnie, shouted Moo. Ouch, ouch, ouch. The chickens were pecking. Oh my gosh, that's her tail. I was like, I thought that was her leg for a second. Mud everywhere. Start the tractor, yelled Minnie. Say the magic word, shouted Moo. You cheesy piece of ouch, chuck, ouch. You rusty ouch, bucket of ouch, ouch, bolts. You broken down, no good, ouch, ouch. Hurry, Moo, said Minnie. Kick the tire, shouted Moo. Turn the key, shouted Minnie. Roar went the tractor. Whoosh went the hay baler. The tractor shot up the crater and flew into the air. Home again. Sploosh. The tractor landed in the duck pond. The hay baler groaned. The tractor moaned. It hissed a cloud of steam. Minnie and Moo climbed out of the pond. Now the tractor's stuck in the pond. It's like a little frog. They looked back at the tractor. The farmer's hat and one of his boots floated on the water. And then the hat, I guess, is where the frog is sitting. These cattails. Look, ducks already made a nest on the tractor. Oh, said Moo. Here comes the farmer. Run, said Minnie. Minnie and Moo jumped over the fence. Quick, said Moo. Get down. Eat some grass, said Minnie. The farmer walked. They're like, pretend like we're doing anything suspicious. The farmer walked to the pond. He looked at this tractor. He looked at his hay baler. He looked at the holes in his hat. He picked up his boot, and poured water out of it. The farmer saw 2 cows eating grass. Is he still looking at us? Asked Moo. I think he's looking at you, said Minnie. Me? Said Moo. Why me? In the distance, the farmer's like, You're wearing his other boots, said Minnie. Oh, oh, said Moo. Oh no, it's wearing the farmer. See, he's wearing his boot. The farmer was like, excuse me, why are you wearing my boot? The end. Minnie and Moo. Minnie and Moo go to the moo. Next, we're gonna do the Runaway Bunny. I actually did read this one beforehand and it's so cute. It's really precious. The Runaway Bunny by Margaret Wise Brown. Pictures by Clement Hurd. I really like the pictures, they're cute. Pictures, it's black and white. Just like a sketch picture. The Runaway Bunny. The Runaway Bunny. Once there was, and I will warn this one is pretty repetitive, but it's cute. It ends really cute. Once there was a little bunny who wanted to run away. So he said to his mother, I'm running away. If you run away, said his mother, I will run after you, for you are my little bunny. If you run after me, said the little bunny, I will become a fish in a trout stream, and I will swim away from you. If you become a fish in a trout stream, said his mother, I will become a fisherman, and I will fish for you. That's cute. She's like, I'll get you. Fishing for using a little carrot to like fish for little bunnies. It's cute. If you become a fisherman, said the little bunny, I will become a rock on the mountain high above you. If you become a rock on the mountain high above me, said his mother, I will be a mountain climber and I will climb to wherever you are. She's gonna climb the mountain all the way up to her sun right here. If you become a mountain climber and said If you become a mountain climber, said the little bunny, I will be a crocus in a hidden garden. If you become a crocus in a hidden garden, said his mother, I will be a gardener, and I will find you. She's a gardener, and I guess I don't actually know what a crocus, but I guess that's like a flower or something. A little crocus. If you are a gardener and find me, said the little bunny, I will be a bird and fly away from you. Look at his wings. If you become a bird and fly away from me, said his mother, I will be a tree that you come home to. Aww, she's a tree. Easy fly. If you become a tree, said the little bunny, I will become a little sailboat and I will sail away from you. If you become a sailboat and sail away from me, said his mother, I will become the wind and blow you wherever I want you to go. His ears became like the sail. It's crazy. She's the wind blowing the waves. If you become the wind and blow me, said the little bunny, I will join a circus and fly away on a flying trapeze. If you go flying on a flying trapeze, said his mother, I will be a tightrope walker, and I will walk across the air to you. That's cute. She's a tightrope. That's like a tongue twister. Why is that hard for me? Tightrope walker. He's over here. If you become a tightrope walker and walk across the air, said the bunny, I will become a little boy and run into a house. If you become a little boy and run into a house, said the mother bunny, I will become your mother and catch you in my arms and hug you. That's sweet. Bunny mother in the rocking chair. But he's so little. It's cute. Looks so cozy. The little fireplace. cozy chair, the window. This is my favorite. Shucks, said the bunny, I might just as well stay where I am and be your little bunny. So, I guess I'll stay. And so he did. I love this line. Have a carrot, said the mother bunny. But that's literally it. She just said have a carrot. Yes, very much exactly what a mother would say. Just calm down, have a carrot. Calm down, have a little snack. You'll be okay. That's pretty cute. Just a little carrot. Mothers know. They're just like, have a little snack. It'll be fine. But that's so sweet that she's like, I'll be whatever it takes to bring you back. I feel like that's really exemplative of God's love. Whenever these stories have like touching meanings like that, it like speaks to me. I thought that was really special. Okay. We have one more book. And it is the Beware of the Storybook Wolves. Beware of the Storybook Wolves. Lauren Child. The illustrations in this are pretty fun. She's like reading a book. Like looks like a little Red Riding Hood. There's the wolf, so we'll see. Looks like a fairy godmother. We'll see. These pages are really glossy. I like that. Oh, I guess that's the dedication. Oh, that's sweet. For Charlie, make sure you keep this book under something heavy. Ingress. Who knows how to deal with storybook wolves? Thank you, Dizzle. Oh, that's cute. Okay. Here's yeah. Okay. Let's start. Sorry. Every night, Herb's mother would read him a bedtime story. Sometimes it was about a big wolf who terrified little girls and their grandmothers with his chilling growl and his big yellow teeth. You could tell from the picture that toothpaste had never been on his shopping list. The story got very nasty in the middle, and everybody nearly came to a sticky end. But by the last page, it had all turned out well and went happy ever afterly. It was one of Herb's favorites. He particularly liked the back cover, which had a picture of a smaller wolf with a patch over one eye and the words, "For a real thrill, try reading this." Wait, this is... Yeah. For a real thrill, try reading the story of the little fierce wolf and the 3 pink piglets. It will scare your socks off. Oh. Let me turn you a little bit. Okay. Whenever his mother finished this bedtime story, Herb would say, "Don't forget to take that book with you," and his mother would ask why. "Because there's a wolf in it." Of course, Herb would say. Herb's mother would smile to herself because she knew that storybook wolves are not at all dangerous. Silly Herb. One night, just as they were finishing the wolf story, the telephone rang. In her hurry, Herb's mother forgot all about taking the book with her. Herb didn't realize at first, but as he was snoozing off, he thought he heard a deep, rumbling sound coming from his bedside table. Sorry, since the pages are glossy, there's a good glare. Okay. Sorry about that. It was like the rumbling of a very hungry tummy, or perhaps even 2 very hungry tummies. 2 sets of eyes. Then he began to smell a not very nice smell, a sort of bad breath type of smell. Herb got a funny feeling that 2 or maybe even 3 eyes were watching him. All creepy. Dot, dot, dot. And there, standing in front of him, was the big storybook wolf, and next to him was the other smaller wolf with a patch over one eye. Herb recognized him as the back cover wolf. Big Wolf said in a low, greedy voice. I thought I could smell something tasty. I'm going to gobble you up, little boy. And he started to lick his chops. Oh, can I have his little pink toes? They look just like piglets, said Little Wolf. And he tried to lick his chops, but he wasn't very good at it and just ended up dribbling on the carpet. He was trying to lick his toes. I wouldn't eat me yet, stammered Herb, desperately trying to think of a plan to distract the wolves from wolfing him down. Why not, said Big Wolf, giving him a sideways stare. Yes, why not, said Little Wolf, trying to give him a sideways stare. Because little boy, they're for dessert. You have to start with appetizers, of course. I didn't know that, said Big Wolf. Really, said Herb, feeling a little bit pleased with his own craftiness. I thought everybody knew that. Oh, I knew that, said Little Wolf. No, you did not, said Big Wolf, slightly less fierce than Before Wolf. Yes, I certainly did, said Little Wolf, puffing himself up. Well, if you're so clever, then what's appetizers? True, Big Wolf. You could tell that Little Wolf had never heard of appetizers, but not wishing to sound stupid, he shouted, Jello is an appetizer, everybody knows that. Then Big Wolf and Little Wolf looked at Herb and said, Where's the Jello? Jello, Jello, where was the Jello? Herb's mind was working like a frantic thing. Then he caught sight of his book of fairy tales. He had been looking at it last night, and it was lying open on the page where the dozy princess falls asleep at her own birthday party. No one at the table would notice if he borrowed some Jello. They were all snoozing, tired of waiting for Princess Beautiful to wake up. Herb was so busy struggling to slide the Jello off the page, he didn't notice the wicked fairy wide awake and hiding under the table. She had been listening to every word. This was bad luck for her because the wicked fairy hated little boys only slightly less than she hated little girls. They made her very nervous. She'd seen what those little brats Hansel and Gretel had done to that poor defenseless witch. Not only did they nibble her cottage half to pieces, but then they went and shoved her in her very own oven. Children put her in a very bad mood indeed. Oh no. Oh, you dozy doormats, don't you know anything? Snarled the fairy. You wolf half-wits give wickedness a bad name. He's tricked you, twerps. Little boys are appetizers, Jello is dessert. And with that, the wicked fairy jumped back into the book and snapped it shut. First the wolves went almost purple in the cheeks with embarrassment, then their eyes went all mean and squinty. Herb could tell things had taken a turn for the really quite bad, so he snatched up the fairy book, found the page with the fairy godmother, and shook it until she tumbled out of the book and onto the floor. She was a bit cross, actually, because her dress got crumpled and she nearly twisted her ankle. Well, she said, I've got a good mind to turn you into a caterpillar, little boy. No, no, said Herb. Don't turn me into a caterpillar. It's those two who need to be caterpillars. Oh, no, not you. Not you two again, said the godmother, spying the two alarmed wolves, always making trouble, blowing people's houses down and gobbling them up without so much as a do you mind. As she said this, she accidentally waved her wand at the little wolf and the smoke went poof, just like in the fairy tales, and suddenly there was the little wolf standing in a ball gown. Oh, silly. Oh dear, this will never do, said the fairy godmother, shaking her head. That dress was meant for Cinderella. You shook me out of the book just as I was about to send her to the ball. Awfully nice dress, though. I have an eye for fashion, as you can probably tell, but not at all suitable for a wolf. Little Wolf took one look in the mirror and was so pleased with his new look that he jumped into the fairy tale book and went to the ball himself. Oh, that's crazy. Plot twist. Which, of course, left Cinderella having a night in cleaning the kitchen after all. Huh? Changing the whole storyline for Cinderella. Oh, well, that's that then, sighed the fairy godmother. I'm not going to be at all popular at the palace now. I don't know what the king and queen are going to say when a wolf turns up at the ball to dance with their son. I imagine that they will be very grumpy about it. I do hope he doesn't start smacking on the guests. The fairy godmother was so engrossed with her own problems that she hadn't noticed that Big Wolf was poised, ready to swallow Herb in one gulp. That's crazy. Help! Screeched Herb. Herb. I say Herb like I'm saying the name Herb is Herb, but I keep saying it like Herb. Okay. Quick as a quick thing, the fairy godmother wished her wand and Big Wolf became a tiny caterpillar. Oh, I do like caterpillars, said the fairy godmother, popping it back into the wolf storybook. They're so undemanding, never bothering me for things, not like frogs, always thinking they're a princess. What's more, I really have had enough of being squashed inside a book, doing favors for spoiled princesses. I'm going to take a vacation somewhere far away from royalty. And in a sudden twinkle of a sequence, she disappeared. Before Herb got back into bed, he piled up all his books and then put the heaviest thing he could find on top of them, just in case anyone else was tempted to get out of the story. Hence why that was written on the dedication page. Then he switched off his light, dreamed fierce caterpillars, fashionable wolves, and grouchy godmothers. That's cute. Did I say that right? I might have forgot that. Then he switched off his light and dreamed of fierce caterpillars, fashionable wolves, and grouchy. The funny thing was, the next time Herb's mother came to read the wolf story, there was no wolf to be seen, just a tiny caterpillar trying with all his might to terrify a little girl in a red coat. That's silly. So silly. Little caterpillar. The end. Grouchy, very godmother. Super cute. Okie doke. Hope y'all enjoyed, and thank y'all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.